Hello everyone. In this video, we shall be discussing about different classes of antibody, and this covers cellular and molecular immunology. That is the subject in MSc third semester with MVT 301 code in biotechnology department. As we all know that antibodies are the molecules which are released by activated B cells. Activated B cells, they convert into plasma cells to release different classes of antibodies. So this slide basically shows the development of B cells in the bone marrow. So this is pro B cell, then we have pre B cell, and we have immature B cell, we have mature B cell. So immature B cell, it starts presenting IgM, that is, this small m is for membrane bound IgM. So membrane bound IgM, it starts presenting it as a receptor molecule on its surface, and in the mature B cell we have both membrane bound IgM and membrane bound IgD as a receptor. And upon antigenic challenge, so antigen is any external challenging agent that is encountered by the body, like virus, bacteria, or parasite or pathogen, anything which is foreign to the body and against which immune system reacts. So then this B cell, this becomes activated and converts into plasma cell. So plasma cell is a cell which is actually antibody secreting cell. So the first antibody which it secretes is IgM. So IgM is the antibody which we produce without any antigenic challenge, because we have seen that it is present as membrane bound receptor. So without antigenic challenge also we produce, the first antibody that we produce is IgM. The first antibody which is released by activated plasma cell, activated B cell, that is plasma cell, is IgM. So IgM is the first antibody which we secrete. And apart from IgM, then class switching occurs to shift to IgG, IgA, or IgE depending upon the requirement. This is a very general structure of the antibody. So this structure that we can see, this is the constant region of the antibody and this is the variable region of the antibody. So variable region of the antibody is responsible for interacting with the antigen, and the constant region is responsible for binding with the different cells of the body for the effector responses of the immunoglobulin molecule. So this region is known as FAB, that is fragment antigen binding. So this has light chain and heavy chain. The bigger chain which you can see is the heavy chain, and the smaller one is the light chain. So this is the variable region of the heavy chain, this is the variable region of the light chain, and in combination they form fragment antigen binding region, and each antibody has got two identical antigen binding sites. And this constant region, actually it interacts with the different cells of the immune system after it binds with the antigen. So when it interacts with macrophages, so it results in the engulfment of whatever molecule it is bound to, and the process is opsonization, or it can the constant region can attach to complement components, and then it is responsible for fixation of membrane attack complex, which leads to killing of the pathogen to which this FAB is bound. Or it can through ADCC, that is antibody dependent cell mediated cytotoxicity, it can fix NK cells to kill the target cells. So FAB is responsible for antigen binding, and fragment crystallizable or FC region is responsible for interaction with different cells of the body. And this is a very beautiful example. If you see the interaction between the adaptive immunity, the humoral immunity antibody is the effector of humoral immunity. So here humoral immunity component is bound to the pathogen and it is activating all innate immune components. So in the case of opsonization, it is basically activating a macrophage. In the case of ADCC, it is activating NK, and in the case of complement mediated lysis, it is activating complement cascade, that is also an active component of innate immunity. So this is a very good example of crosstalk between innate and adaptive immunity. So in this we shall be talking about different molecules of IgG. So after the primary immune response occurs and the secondary immune response comes, so major antibody which is released by the body is IgG, and IgG is the main antibody which circulates in the serum. So we have four different forms of IgG: IgG1, G2, G3, G4. So their concentration, this is the highest, then this is 9 milligram per ml, this is 3, this is 1, and this is 0.5. So these classes, they are named depending upon their serum concentrations. And this is the major cell, the major antibody immunoglobulin molecule which is present in the blood. So it binds to Fc gamma receptor. So when we talk about the receptor of IgG, because it is encoded by gamma gene, so the receptor to which it will bind is Fc gamma. So it is present on neutrophils, macrophages, and NK cell. So IgG can interact with neutrophils, macrophages, and NK cells. So this is the diagram which basically proves that gamma globulin fraction is the most abundant fraction present in the serum. The second important immunoglobulin class is IgM, though it is the first immunoglobulin because it is present as membrane-bound immunoglobulin, but its structure is pentameric. So because of the pentameric structure, its serum abundance is lesser than IgG. And this IgM is capable of transporting across the membrane. So like if the antibody has to be secreted inside the intestine, or antibody has to be secreted in the tears or any kind of secretion of the body, so this antibody is capable of the transportation across mucosal secretions because of the presence of J chain, but its steric hindrance is because of its pentameric structure. So it is very powerful opsonin if we compare it with IgG, because of it can simultaneously, it can bind with 10 and it can simultaneously bind 10 antigenic determinants on its surface. Then the next class of antibody is IgA. Every day, this is the class of antibody which we secrete and produce in the highest quantity. IgA is usually dimer, but this is secretory IgA. As you can see, the J chain is present on IgA also. So this is the antibody which we secrete in all the mucosal linings, and it is because of small size, though it can also occur as a dimer, trimer, or tetramer. But because of its small size, it can easily get transportation across the mucosal membrane. So IgA is released in huge quantity in the tears. It is released in the intestinal inside of the intestine, and all the other mucus secretion, the IgA is released. So every day, without any antigenic challenge, we produce highest amount of IgA for our protection. So it can prevent binding of microorganism to receptors. So what IgA will do when it is released in the intestine, let's say we have a pathogen which can bind with our intestinal membrane, it will not allow it to bind with the intestinal membrane. In turn, it will bind with the pathogen and will lead to its clearance from the body. So this is again IgA, how it is secreted, that is shown in this figure. This is transmucosal transportation of IgA. So another important antibody is IgE. It is a very small amount. Its serum concentration is extremely low, and it is one of the most potent antibody of all the antibodies. Even in microgram concentration or very, very low concentration, it can lead to very vigorous reactions. And IgE, though it is basically responsible for parasitic infections, but sometimes few people, they tend to give intense reactions with IgA when it binds to its high affinity receptors present on mast cell and basophil, resulting in the allergic reactions. These allergic reactions will basically cover in the type 1 hypersensitivity reactions, and these are basically mediated by IgE when it is bound to mast cell and basophils. So mast cell and basophils, these are the cells which are present in our body and responsible for allergic reactions. So the next class of antibody is IgD. IgD is very low in serum concentration. It was discovered in multiple myeloma patient. So normally it is not released by the B cell, activated B cell or plasma cell, but its main function is as membrane-bound immunoglobulin along with IgM. So serum concentration is not detected until unless there is some specific problem. So this chart summarizes the effects of different antibodies. So IgG, it opsonizes bacteria, fixes complement that we have already discussed. It is also capable of crossing the placenta to give protection to the developing fetus. IgA is a secretory antibody. We have also discussed that IgM can also be a secretory antibody, but because of steric hindrance, it is not able to cross. So it is responsible in primary response. IgG is responsible in secondary immune reactions. So when you take vaccination for the first time, the major antibody that is produced is IgM. When you take the first booster, the major antibody which takes care of your body is IgG, and it also fixes complement. It cannot cross placenta. IgD is mainly present as membrane-bound immunoglobulin on the B cells, and IgE basically is responsible for immediate hypersensitivity or allergic reaction in association with mast cell and basophil. Normally, it is responsible along with eosinophil in the helminthic infections.